in your experience as a sales manager and a head of international business, many consultants, when they start their companies, they don't have any sales or marketing experience, and so they're kind of thrust into all of a sudden the requirement to sell themselves, essentially to sell themselves as the product. What was your experience when you kind of started your own company? How did you find your experience of being in sales helpful or not helpful? Like, where did that kind of lead you to as you started your own consultancy?
Yeah, I mean, we have something. We've written our narrative for our business, and one of the chapters is, what are your problems? And we've taken a line from Lord of the Rings, which is we've been going around in circles. So we have, and it is fascinating. So if you go to a networking event for consulting firms and you ask the question, so what's the best route? Is it to get a salesperson who sells and then you get your delivery team behind it, or do you get sales deliverer consultants working in there? And we've tried everything. So I started as a sales deliverer. I mean, when I first walked into the Oxford Group, which was my first organization I worked with, I was just given a brilliant leader, set me off on a target and said, you've got 16 days of delivery, or you've got, in those days, £500,000 worth of sales. Now, if you're getting £500,000 of sales, you can have 6 days of delivery. So if you want to sweat your asset, as we call it, then you're going to be doing 16 days delivery unless you want to sell. It was a great motivator. So I literally went down, found Standard Life was my first client, built the relationships, got it to 750,000. So I was working, and therefore, as my old boss said, profit is freedom. So sales was driving me. I was getting salary increases. I was getting a better company car. And I took that into my mentality. And there's probably about 5 of us who started in a similar time with the Oxford Group, and we're still friends. And we still have that model in our mind. But then, and it's funny, you listen to other firms and they go, no, what you need is a VP of sales, and you need to drive a VP of sales, and then you need a strict process, and then you need to get salesforce.com, and you need to drive this, and then you need consultants who just deliver in specialisms. So we went down that route couple of times, and each time it failed because there was a disconnect. And a key thing for me is it depends on the brand you want as a consultant, because ours has always been about partnership with the client. And I'll give you an example. In the last 4 or 5 years, we've won 3 awards with one client, Akamai, and those awards were based on sitting down with the client at the beginning and saying, we're going to experiment and we're going to fail with you regularly. So we're going to learn fast. We're going to push the boundaries. And it was by luck of judgment, I sat in a room and said to this client at the time, I said, imagine in 4 to 5 years' time that we are sat at a big award ceremony getting an award for the progress we've made because we've pushed the boundaries and we've done something different. And we both said, yep, we'd love to do that. So, okay, so what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to fail regularly. So you and I are going to have tough conversations. I'm going to hate every time an email is sent to me because I'm going to worry that we're going to be, going to failing in that tough conversation. And you're going to worry about the next email coming from me. But as long as we can work in a principled way, which was, and this is given to me by a client friend who's now unfortunately passed away, Drew Cameron. He said, with his clients, he works on the principle, if things are going well, go and tell your client. If things are going badly, run and tell your client. So that whole philosophy has been my sales piece, where people trust me. They know that I'm in it. They know that I'm going to be honest, know that we're stretching. We know we're going to achieve. So those awards have generated us regular income, but we never rest on our laurels. So what we've worked out is getting consultant players who can sell and deliver, and get them to have targets like I had when I was younger of right. Nowadays it'd be 1 million, and then looking at the number of days delivery and just setting them off, creating their own fiefdoms and say, go sell, build your relationships. Yeah.
So